Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasha Koholoimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rahakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach. It's coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. I'm seeing this, little article. It says why Christians must stand with Israel and the Jewish people. Instead of just saying Israelites, why Christians must stand with Israelites. That's what it should be saying. But of course, it's got that separation of Israel and the Jewish people amid surging anti-Semitism. So it's a lot of wordplay there, a lot of word salad. If you are into this truth, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if you're just coming into this truth, these people are being exposed as to not being the actual people. And all these countries and nations know it. These leaders of these other nations, they know what's going on. But it's a lot of separation that's going on amongst the mega Christian nationalists. These so-called white people here in America that stole America, you know what I'm saying, all in the name of idolatrous white Jesus. Right? Because they know, well, a lot of them don't even know that the Lord's name is not Jesus. That's why when we do our lessons and when we bring out our, when we bring out the scriptures, we have to explain it plainly because the Lord said to keep it simple, basically, roughly paraphrasing. We have to explain to the people that may not have ever heard this truth before that there's no letter J in Hebrew. So there wouldn't even be a Jewish people in the Old Testament, or if you got a 1611 King James Bible, you wouldn't see the word Jewish because the letter J is not there. The letter J was invented in 1524 by a grammarian named Giorgio Trissino. Right? There wouldn't be nobody named Jesus. And these Israelis, these so-called Jewish people, they don't even believe in who the American Christians believe who is Jesus. They don't even believe in that character. They have nothing to do with white Jesus. They have nothing to do with Jesus at all, whatever color. They don't have nothing to do with Jesus. They don't want nothing to do with it. They don't call on him. They don't believe in it. They just don't. They just, they're pretty much overall, they're using the American people because you're so stupefied and so doofy on Christianity that through propaganda, through their media, they have showed you or taught you that they are the people when actually they're not. They don't fit the prophecies. None of the prophecies. Matter of fact, when was the last time you ever heard them speak of the tribe of Zebulon? I'm just using that as one tribe because there's 12 tribes, not just the Judah. And that's where they get the word Jewish from, basically. Judah is the fourth son. Where's Benjamin? Where's, Levi? Where's Asher? Where's Simeon? Where are the other tribes? You'll never hear them talk about them. That's the reason why they'll separate this, like when they say why Christians must stand with Israel and the Jewish people. It's all a hoax. But you have Christians, they don't read the Bible, so they don't know no better. They just been duped and fooled into the fact that, okay, these people, they got the land in 1948 through the Balfour Declaration. It didn't fit any prophecies, and they've been saying that they're Jews for these past couple of hundred years, so they must be the Jews. But there are 12 tribes of Israel, and the actual so-called Jews today will actually be so-called black people. And we have to do these lessons and bring this out. They don't like to hear it. They try and cut the channels. They try and cut the feeds, and, may have your video buffering, or they may have your video blacked out. They may take the sound away from your video and everything when we speak on certain things like this. But hey, we're in the last days. We got to let our people know, look, these are not the people. So-called white people here in America, they're the same people as the Israelis and Jewish people over there in Israel. They're all the same people. They're Edomites. They're all the same people. But what these people have done is they've been in control of the media. Like this guy, he has a pretty good program. And through his media, he has been able to separate, or they've been able to say, look, we're not white people, we're Jewish. But they're the same exact people. It's almost like you having a brother and you're like, and both of y'all last name is Thomas's. He's Jack Thomas and you're John Thomas. And John Thomas is saying, well, nah, we're not the same people. I'm somebody far different from them. In the meanwhile, you know what I'm saying. You both of y'all got kids. Well, your uncles, your you know that's weird. This is what they've done though through their propaganda, through that media machine, that TV propaganda. They've been able to tell the people, no, we're not white people. We're Jewish. But they won't tell you about the rest of the Israelites. So just keep that in mind. But the true name of the Father is Yahweh. You'll never hear them say that. And the true name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. The true name of the Father in heaven, the King, the Most High of the actual Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, his name is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one. He is to be, or the existing one. The true name of his Son, which these people definitely don't believe in, Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus. His name is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. So that's very important to know. So now this is, he says, well, let's just get some of the article. It says that Thanksgiving, my heart is full of gratitude for family freedom and the blessing of living in this great country. So they call in this great country and Thanksgiving the killing of one of the tribes, because you'll never hear them mention the tribe of Gad, which is the so-called Native American Indians. So the killing off of all our people, the bloodshed, the robbery, the theft of this country, they broke all the commandments, taking its place. And these people celebrate that. And actually, they're so-called Indians or Gadites, they going to celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, too. They got turkeys and cranberry and all that. They don't give a fuck. So-called black people, they've been running throughout Walmarts. I seen a lady with a whole basket full of chitlins. Them big-ass buckets, some red buckets with the white tops. And she was obesely nasty. With her ass and belly out. Fucking 300-400 pounds. I couldn't do nothing but shake my head and walk by. Right? But it says, and like millions of other Bible-believing Christians, because they don't really believe in the Bible, I am also thankful for the eternal promises of God. Well, what's the eternal promises of God? That the Israelites are going to be in rulership over the entire globe, and all kingdoms are going to come under the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai when the Lord comes. Are all the countries under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord? Nah. These people living like goddamn heathen. They eating what they want to eat. Matter of fact, over there in the land of Israel, they got the biggest LGBTQ parade in the world. You think that's going to be in the kingdom? Are you serious? You think that's going to be... Come on, bro. Anyway, I am thankful to the eternal promise of God, the miracles of modern state of Israel. See, it's not going to be a state of Israel in the scriptures, man. There's no state of Israel in the scriptures. There's going to be the kingdom of Israel. It's not no damn state, where you got elected officials. No, it's not going to be every other whatever amount of years we're going to be trying to get a new prime minister in, or trying to get, a new president in, or trying to, no, ain't going to be no women in no military. We're not going to have ain't going to be no need for no military. Because we ain't going to have nobody to fight no more. Overall. But it says the miracle of modern state Israel and the sacred bond that unites with the Jewish people. With anti-Semitism, see, on the rise. See, that's that word. Now, what is Sem? Isn't his name Shem with the H? They're not going to tell you that. With anti-Semitism on the rise, it is important for Christians to stand up. Why? You don't believe in the Jesus that these Christians believe in. Why should they stand up with you? You should at least believe in idolatrous white Jesus. You don't even believe... Jewish people don't believe in idolatrous white Jesus. And they shouldn't. Because it's an idol. But the Christians do. These American Christians, these white nationalists, these Trump believers, these MAGAs, they believe in white Jesus. Okay, as it says, it is important for Christians to stand up, speak out, and resist any effort to divide us from our support of Israel. See? We cannot write off influencers like Nick Fuentes. The horrors of the Holocaust began with a small group of fiery malcontents viewed as too extreme to be taken seriously. The passive inaction by many, including mainstream Christians, unleashed a wave of human suffering on mankind unmatched in history. We must never repeat those mistakes. What do you mean? You're repeating those mistakes over there in Gaza right now. This was the same thing you doing to them people. Basically, you said was done to you. Anyway, man. But see, you see these people right here in this picture right here. Hey, you got some that do that's on that tip still because they don't know no better. They really believe that those are the real people. They've been fed lies, man. Okay, it says they began with the Abrahamic covenant. Through it, God promises Abraham he will use his progeny, the Jews. No, he's going to use the Israelites living in particular land, Israel. No, it's not no damn Jews, bro. Jew is only one son. What about the other 11 sons? All those sons had lands. The Lord divided the lands when they came out of Egypt. All the lands was separated for the children of Israel, not just no Jews, man. As a matter of fact, Abraham was not a Jew. Isaac was not a Jew. Jacob was not a Jew. Think about that for a minute. Now, Jacob, when his name was changed to Israel, his fourth son was named Judah or Yahweh. His older three brothers weren't Jews. Now, when you go into the New Testament, because they were, scattered, or the kingdom was split between the northern and southern kingdom, that's another lesson. Because there's so much history, there's so much to be said, But Benjamin, Judah, Levi would have been, was always together, so to speak. So they was all considered Jews, but they were separate tribes. Now, when you had the northern kingdom, what about them? Because the Lord is coming to put them. That's why the Lord came, the lost tribes. He's going to put Israel back together. There's not going to be no southern kingdom or northern kingdom. You don't even hear these people talking about that. You don't hear these people talking about the kingdom being separated, after King Solomon passed away. You don't hear them talking about any of that. But let's get back what this guy said. He says, they began with the Abrahamic covenant. Through it, God promises Abraham he will use his progeny, the Jews, living in particular land, Israel, to bring blessings to all nations. Okay, well, all nations are y'all there? Why are they there? Why aren't all nations being blessed? Why is there still all this damn disease on the planet? And matter of fact, getting worse. Why are we eating all this fucked up food? Why is the air quality so fucked up? Why is there so much violence on the planet? Why aren't you being fruitful and multiplying instead of pushing, that big ass parade over there? That's crazy, bro. And we can go on. It says in Genesis, God declares to Abraham, I will make you a great nation and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. And see, that's one of those scriptures they try and use. Well, bless us and you're going to be blessed. Well, okay. America been giving y'all billions of dollars for how long? They had nothing to do with the HOLO costs, but they've been blessing you with billions of dollars. So-called black people here in America are living in these neighborhoods with the most fucked up of conditions. Tax money been taken out of their checks to give to you, and we're still in a badass condition. When is this blessing you're talking about going to come through for us? So we know that these people are complete lies, man. These are liars, bro. He says, this everlasting covenant is the root into which we, as Gentile believers, which the Gentiles is going off into Israelites that were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so to speak, mainly the Greek enterprise at the time, going into the New Testament. The Greeks, was over the Israelites, didn't allow them to keep the customs and laws of the law, statutes, and commandments the Lord gave them. They became heathen. They became Hellenized. So those Gentiles in the New Testament, those are basically Greek-speaking Israelites or Greek-speaking Jews. Because in the New Testament, there was mainly the southern kingdom there. There was some northern kingdom scattered amongst them, These people, man, they got to go, bro. And you got this Camp Genesis, man, out here teaching that all these nations should be able to just get on the ship with us after they dogged us out forever. Crazy, bro. Anyway, it's a lot. Okay, so it says, he says this is not a matter of old versus new covenant, as some mistakenly believe. See, these people have no. I'm just gonna get one scripture. I didn't even want to keep this long, man. I just wanted to just kind of, bring this out. But these people, man, they're being exposed. That's what's happening amongst them and these megas here, all these so-called white people throughout the world. But these so-called JEWs, they're being exposed. You're not the people. And those megas are against them now. Because they're looking like, okay, well, you get free health care off of us. You get free schooling off of us. You get free housing off of us. You're doing far better than we are off of our taxpayer money. Why is it that we should be protecting and keeping you safe and making sure that you're okay, but our people here in America are starving? This is what these so-called white people are coming up about, man, because it's really getting bad out here, man, as far as the way that these people believe, man. You have to see what's really going on. We're in the end of this thing, bro. You know? And we're about to go into the Shabbat. As a matter of fact, the Lord been having the Shabbat on all of Esau's major holidays throughout the past 2 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You know, don't quote me on that, but I think, as far as I can remember, for the past 2 years, maybe 3, every single major holiday for Esau, it's been a Shabbat for us. Well, we don't have to celebrate y'all shit. Well, we ain't gonna celebrate it anyway. I'm just saying, where the Lord has separated us or pulled us back from this man's holiday, you know? Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? What are you talking about the scriptures for? You so-called white Americans and you so-called American white people in Israel. What are you doing with the Bible? You don't keep nothing that's in it. You're running throughout the earth. You rape, robbing, and pillaging and taking everybody's shit. The earth is in groaning. Everybody is just through. Nobody is prospering but a few of you. The food is terrible. You know, the air quality is terrible. The water is terrible. We keep complaining about the same things. Our groanings are going up to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, because we're sick of this place. Verse 17 again, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. What you doing with the Bible, man? Verse 18, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. This is all y'all been doing. You come up with these weak ass laws, you know what I'm saying? But you push them through, and you got the world just in just chaos. But you running around here talking about how you're the holy people. This shit is retarded, bro. Let's see what else is. There's a little bit more on there. Look at these people, man. Incredible. Edomites, bro. Okay, it says, this everlasting covenant is the root into we, as Gentile believers, have been graciously grafted. No, that's not the grafting of fucking people, bro. They make me so This is not the grafting of no heathen. The grafting is talking about the children of Israel that fell away, man. And again, that's another lesson and there's multiple lessons on this. There's multiple lessons on this. And this is a beautiful thing because this camp Genesis and the apostles was talking about putting curses up on their asses, man. Put a damn curse up on them niggas every day, talking about the Gentiles can be grafted in and be saved, you know, with the children of Israel, man, after all this shit they've done to us. And all of a sudden they just get to be on the damn shit with you. One of the niggas said, I think it was, I'm trying to think, was it Hassad, would you rather, something to the extent of, would you rather a person that's, you know, done, I guess, killed children. I'm not saying that what he said verbatim, but he was naming off all these heinous crimes. Would you rather a person, a Israelite that's committed all these heinous crimes as opposed to a regular Gentile or a heathen that has never committed a crime like that or anything close? Would you rather him on a ship with you as opposed to an Israelite? It's just wicked as hell, man. I know it's windy as hell out here too. I'm trying to get through this and get back in the crib. It is chilly too. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through it. But he says, this is not a matter of old versus new covenant. As some mistakenly believe, God does not lie. He does not change his mind. Well, if he don't lie and he don't change his mind, then this has nothing to do with these so-called white Christians in America that you're talking about. He would just be about the Israelites. And they won't even, you know, like, what are you talking about? So basically, you saying that the Lord is a liar by accepting these Americans. that supposedly be goy, that supposedly be Gentiles, that you look as cattle, and that you look as a people that you can do anything to. Crazy, bro. The Abrahamic covenant is eternal, alive, and active, guiding the course of history, shaping the destiny of nations, including ours, our own. Yeah, he's doing that right now. And guess what? Y'all ass is going into captivity. That's what's happening. The Lord is switching everything around and switching everything up, and your asses is going on the bottom in the kingdom, bro. That's exactly what's about to happen. So it's a little more to it. I don't even want to go into a lot more of it. Probably have to do a second lesson on it, man. Shit crazy. Well, anyway, Esau don't have nothing to do with the scriptures. This Bible has nothing to do with you heathen. You're not going to be saved. You're in your kingdom right now. And they just rolling, they just using scriptures, man. Says the Apostle Paul affirms, for I tell you that Christ has become a servant to the Jews on behalf of God's truth. Y'all don't even believe it. These people don't even believe in the new covenant. They don't even believe in the New Testament. That shit is crazy. Man, you know what? I don't even want to get frustrated. Shit running on my blood pressure, huh? Salakia. I take that back. But golly, man. This is not. Come on, bro. This is crazy work right here, man. Hey, but guess what? Hey, this is what the guy Benjamin Netanyahu, we call him. Benjamin Netanyahu, he called those Palestinians Amalek. Now you got Vocab Malone. He was saying that the Edomites are done away with. Isn't Amalek a part of the family of the Edomites? Come on, bro. We know what it is, man. And this truth is kicking the asses in the teeth, bro. This truth is really kicking them in the teeth, man. They can't handle this truth coming out like how it is, so they have to re-up. Because it's falling apart. It really is. As a matter of fact, let me get another scripture. Because this overall what's going on is really just division. They don't have the hold on these so-called white people in America like how they did. They don't have that control no more. These people, man, look, them baby boomers though, them older people, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, they believe in that those people, like I would say, people here, I would say these 18 to maybe 30-year-olds, no, they not with that Israeli shit. They like, fuck that. Y'all ruining our future, man. We don't have a future with what y'all got going on, man. They like, nah, fuck that, nigga. Well, let me get this Matthew 12 and 25. Because this is exactly what's happening. It's just a big division. Matthew 12 and 25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And they can see that division. They can see that these young taxpayers, they don't want their money going there no more. They feeling like, well, damn, what about us? Why is it that our money is going to a nation that don't have nothing to do with us like that? You know what I'm saying? They see that, all that. Matter of fact, I was watching, I think it was Conor McGregor. Matter of fact, the elder Yashawamba, he had a clip of what he was saying about Germany. Like, see all that shit when they was talking about Germany and making Germany feel guilty about what happened to, during the HOLO, the cost, and all that. See, that was like 2-3 generations ago. These newer generations of young people, they're not with that shit no more. They're like, man, look, man, same way Esau been saying we had nothing to do with slavery. Same way they used that speech on us. Oh, well, wait, ain't nobody here a slave no more. We didn't have no slaves. That's what these newer generations is saying too. They're like, well, shit, we ain't had nothing to do with the Holocaust. We ain't had nothing to do with what happened to you guys back then. Get over it, shit. Y'all done came up. Like, why 3 generations in, a country that had absolutely nothing to do with it is paying for your child care, paying for your college, paying for your apartments, paying for your homes, paying for your travel, paying for your, they're like, man, what the fuck? I can't even afford rent here. I would prefer to keep my taxes in my pocket and do for me. And then you got a whole bunch of these people here, they don't even go to church. They don't give a fuck about no Christian, nothing. These people ain't got a righteous bone in their body here in America. They don't give a fuck about that. Now, they did say the Bible sales are going up but they said that the church attendance is down, but the Bible sales are going up. And the Bible sales are going up because people can actually see that things are happening in the earth. They can see prophecy playing out. They can see something not right. I've heard about this before. Now I don't know the Bible, but I heard about this. I think something's got to be going on. This is definitely end day stuff. You hear people talking about the end days all the time. But what's happening is they're not with that Israel. They closing that door off. The Lord is shutting that door. He's shutting that door. So you best believe they coming down. They gonna come down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. I'll end out with that. So you can already see what's happening. That's why the scripture says those that have an ear to hear. If you have an ear to hear, if you have understanding, right? Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So you best believe these people are about to go into chaos mode because they seeing that it's crashing. It's all crashing. Everybody is seeing through the bullshit. Like, hold on, y'all. You done been ran out of the earth too many times. They ready to run their asses right back out of the planet, man. They ready to run. Matter of fact, they ready to run. The book of Job talks about running their asses back into running them to the clefts of the rocks. That's what's about to happen. But overall, all of them about to be ran off. Salakia. Because it's time for the real true Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to rule, man. And they're going to rule through who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, Yahweh Shai, when he makes that coming. And this shit is happening fast, man. So get on your P's and Q's. Continue on doing your reading, your studying, your fasting, your praying, and these lessons, if you're capable of doing them. And push this word out, man. Let our people know what's happening, man. It just is what it is, man. This shit is moving quickly, man. We're about to go into another Shabbat on another one of this man's major holidays. And people in this shit, the mirth is gone. Nobody even give a fuck. These people don't give a fuck about these holidays no more. They like, man, look, we gonna eat some pizza. We gonna pop this goddamn pizza in the microwave. You know what I'm saying? And we just making it into the next day. And that's it. And it's a beautiful thing because we're watching this kingdom fall. Matter of fact, let me get one more. Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And this is what we're witnessing. Our main enemy is Amalek. Our main enemy, and matter of fact, one of this so-called JEW. She was one of these old ass Edomite ladies. She sat down in a conference and said that the problem with Israel is the young black Americans. Matter of fact, now mind you, they getting bombed by Hamas. They got all this shit going on over there in Israel. Niggas just in the hood, just drinking Hennessy and smoking blunts. But we know who she was talking about. She was talking about the Hebrew Israelites, man. That's pumping out this truth on a day-to-day basis with all these thousands of videos hitting their asses over the head every day. Man, there's so many videos going out, bro. You can't keep up with all these videos. Like, come on, bro. You can't keep up with them. Shit, the apostle of Apostles' Heart, man, you might see 5-6 videos from him in one day. So you looking at 5 days, that's 30 videos. 6 days, you're looking at 35 videos. You know what I'm saying? 7 days, you're looking at, you did 30 to 40, 50 videos, man, per week from just the apostle. You have 200 videos a day just from him. And that's just, GMS. That's just from him. We ain't talking about the Apostle Ramlab, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, and the men under him. Man, it's thousands of videos going out daily, man. So, just keep up the work, man. Keep the work up. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala, Ababa Ball, Shalom.